Hello from me, Lazar Hristov. Welcome to the next series of tutorials on creating a website from scratch. Currently, we are working on my third book, which I haven't uploaded to this site yet, since it is not fully completed. It is uploaded on my Lazarus website. Here it is, Master Techniques in 3 and Adaptive and Responsive Design. Let's open the PDF file. We have reached Adaptive Design Comprehensive Example. Now, we will divide this lesson into 2 parts. Initially, we will examine the first part only theoretically, and in the other part, I will show the practical example. As a base, we will use the example from my first book on CSS, from chapter 28.4.1, but I will write all our CSS code in a separate file, not in the HTML file as it is there. And we will fill all our blocks with sample content, including the best of all the techniques we examined in this chapter. Here is how our site will look on a laptop with such a resolution, for example an older type. (1366 by 768 pixels. This is how it will look. We have a title in the header. Here in the navigation, we have 3 pages. In the main part, we have 4 blocks. Here you see each block. There it is. In the footer, we have author data. In principle, we can put a width constraint, because the site looks quite squashed, and if it becomes wider at this height, it will look downright ugly. It looks especially bad if I increase the screen scaling on the laptop, because otherwise it's too small for me. Here is what happens. This occurs because of the change in the aspect ratio of screens. As you can see, in my videos, I film in a 5:4 aspect ratio, because I use such monitors. These are my favorite monitors. I don't like wide screens. And as you know, initially this was the normal ratio, 4:3 or 5:4, at resolutions of 800 × 600 ps or 1024 × 768 ps. But later manufacturers, mainly because of movies, began making them in other ratios, 16:9 for example, and so on. Here is how this same site looks on a monitor with a ratio of 1280 × 1024 ps. You see, here it is already completely whole, as it should be in a normal ratio. Unfortunately, it is now necessary to comply with these things, and we see that nowadays my favorite type of sites aren't made, no scroll. But I will show you this concept in the 4th section of my book. And those of you who want to be web designers, salaried developers, or freelancers, will absolutely have to comply with the established trends and standards. And unfortunately, you don't have full freedom. For example, in this case, you will have to make the site without setting height in percentages. You'll add more text, so that it takes up at least 2 or 3 screens downward and becomes like all the others. So, we will end here in this lesson, and in the next one we will examine the concrete example. That's all for this lesson. Best regards.